And a very good morning again from the TT Grandstand. Just a little bit of sunshine, like Christy says, just trying to break through here now. It's just on 2 minutes past 8. We had the Reverend Canon John Caldwell from St Ninian's Church in just before 8 o'clock, talking about religion in sport. We've had a comment on that.
We have had a message, so we are live on Facebook. You can go over there. We are streaming, so you can comment on the Facebook page there. And we had one from Adam who said, I've seen Religion in Sport, the first series on Netflix, and it's great. The one on the TT should be brilliant. So there's already been one series of this. Really intrigued by it.
Was it
really
on Netflix,
intrigued.
Did he say? I think it
on
was.
On Netflix, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All those sharing platforms are available. We'll just
Obviously,
get them in before we get into bother.
Loads of them.
And we get them all on the phone to us. We've had a late substitution this morning. I think there must be a pulled calf muscle from all the cycling that he's doing. He's not coming in today. He's coming in on Friday instead. John Watson from Alabama Newspapers and, of course, the TT Special, whatever else he's done for over the years. He's coming in on Friday now instead. And we've been replaced by Dan Walker from Duke. Morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Used to work for us as well. Did young Dan, you know.
Oh.
We used to have him. He was in our bosom, but we let him go.
We released him.
And
released
now
him
his phone's on. He's like, "Are you on the radio, Dad?" That's one of those sort of things. You always get that. My brother does that to me when I used to do Saturday sport. I used to always forget to put my phone on silent, and at 2 minutes past 1 we started doing the weather. He'd be phone in the background. You little person. Good morning, Daniel. Anyway, joking aside, good morning.
Good morning.
You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. You?
It's not been so bad so far, has it? Really?
It's been pretty good.
It's been good. And also joining us from the newsletter. Have I got that? Is it the newsletter? Isn't it over there in Belfast?
Yeah, Belfast newsletter.
Yeah, Kyle Whyte. Good morning, Kyle. You okay?
Good morning. Yes, I'm grand. Couldn't be better. A fine morning like this.
Yeah.
You know, another race day at the TT. So, looking forward to it, and I'm sure we're all raring to go.
And for Motorcycle News, MCN, whatever you like to call it, Oli Rushby. Morning, Ollie.
Good morning.
You all right?
Very good, thank you. Like Carl says, it's another beautiful day on the Isle of Man. We've been very lucky this year, haven't we?
Haven't we?
Let's go back to Saturday first off, boys. I mean, your own take on what a day it was. I mean, blimey, Kyle, first off.
Yeah, just incredible. I mean, the speeds from Dean Harrison on the first 2 laps. He's really just raised the bar. New outright lap record, obviously, from a standing start. It was something spectacular. It's obviously just unfortunate for him that he was forced out on lap 4, but we'll get to do it all over again on Friday, and it's really whetted the appetite for the big race of the week on Friday. And I'm sure Peter Hickman as well. He obviously was ruled out on Saturday, and he'll be looking to have his say when we get to senior day.
Yeah, 16 minutes. For those who haven't heard what the lap speed was, 16 minutes 50.384, 134.432, and it's not the fastest road race in the world by a smidge. It's only a smidge, which is not very much in Manx terms. And obviously, Ollie, the sidecars, the Birchall boys blitzed, and John Holden as well getting under the old lap record too was great, wasn't it, Ollie?
Absolutely superb sidecar race. It was obviously slightly delayed, getting away at 7 o'clock in the evening, but the colder temperatures didn't deter them. The Birchalls were on another planet. To break their own lap record on lap 1 from a standing start, and then to absolutely annihilate it on lap 2. I think it was by 11.5 seconds. I was talking to Tom Birchall on Saturday night, and I just said, "Where did that come from?" And he said, "I don't know. It just everything came together today." And John Holden under the old lap record as well, but didn't even have an answer for them.
I know, I spoke to John in practice week and he said, "Oh yeah, if I get 116 I'll be happy," and he's in the 117 club as well. 50 seconds down, Walker, over 50 seconds knocked off the race record. I mean, we used to race records like 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 10 seconds, but 50 is astronomical, isn't it? That's some improvement over 1 year, isn't it?
It's phenomenal, and with all due respect to everyone else in the field, the Birchalls are racing themselves, really, aren't they? They're just, wherever the performance is coming from, it's phenomenal. I mean, you watch that programme on ITV4 last night and you see them working together on that outfit. It's when Tom says it's like they work as one unit, it's exactly right.
So we had the boys in on the show. When was that? That seemed an absolute age ago. Last Tuesday, it was nearly a week ago. And Tom was saying that now he's having to get out in corners over the back of his brother to keep that rear wheel down. For example, end the Cronkavody straight, just to get that extra oomph going, dropping down towards the 11th and then onto the 13th and stuff. It's just incredible. He says the changes that they're having to make to get that extra couple of mile an hour, having to move out in spots that they do. Let's look. Just ask about the feeling in the press centre when Dean did that lap. You were all obviously in there, or were you out?
No, I wasn't. I was just a bit further down the road at Bray Hill, so I was watching from there, and you could even see from the very first lap when Dean Harrison went past that he was absolutely on it, as was Michael chasing behind him. So yeah, it was just an awesome sight. It's a fantastic place to watch, you know, and you know, I go down there quite often. So
just on the jump at St Ninians, or a bit further down?
No, a bit further down, just you know, before they crest the rise and plunge down. Coming over to the left-hand side of the road. So yes. What
was the crowd reaction when John McGuinness went past, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he got a wonderful reception. You know, everybody was clapping, and John wasn't quite waving. He went past so quick. It was like boom. But you know, yeah, it was great to see John back out in the Norton. You know, I'm sure he's just, you know, pretty disappointed that he's not racing this year, but all being well, we'll see him next year.
And also, but you two boys were in the press centre, Ollie and Dan. What was the feeling inside there? Journalists kind of go, "Are you joking me?"
It's funny. Over the years, I can remember some really key moments in that press centre, because it's almost like you can feel the grandstand shaking. I can remember McGuinness's victory in 2015 when he came out and won the senior. The atmosphere around was just incredible, and it was sort of like that with Dean's lap, because we knew he could do a good lap from a standing start. We'd seen it on Tuesday when he did the 133.4, I think it was. So we knew he could do it, but to absolutely smash the outright lap record from a standing start on his first lap, something else. And I was sat there watching the sector times, and I was almost in disbelief.
It was, and they coming down, and I was actually drawing in my head comparisons to him. Do you remember when Connor was on the Kawasaki? Connor came in for the pit stop, and the clutch went on him, exactly the same thing. And I thought, oh, you poor lad. And I did have a chat with Dean before the start of the sidecar race. Like, I spat the tubbies out a little bit, you know, I got on with himself. And do you know what we're going to see on Friday? What are we going to see later on with these guys, with these lap records that we've got? Do you know what? I've got a feeling all the lap records are going to go this year, if it stays like this, and it's going to be like this for the rest of the week. So let's just hope it does.
Well, I saw a tweet. I think it was yourself. Did you say that John had told you recently? John McGuinness was saying that he thought it was time for a 135.
Yeah, he said that there would be a 135 if in the senior there were 2 or more riders going at it towards the final 2 laps. I thought it might come a little bit earlier, because going into the final 2 laps of Saturday's Superbike race, it looked like Michael was closing down on Dean. Whether that was because of his clutch issue or whether that's because Michael kind of did up the ante a little bit. I know he did clinch back a sector record in that final sector, so he was on it as well. So if we've got those two pushing each other on Friday, maybe with an added Peter Hickman in the mix, 135 is more than possible. And if you add all the best sectors together now, I think the ideal lap is 135.3.
135.4 actually.
Oh, here we go.
And the stats come out.
Are you Richard Petrie in disguise?
No, I asked Chris Boyd this morning for the
the stat man.
Yeah, exactly. I borrowed your stat man. And yeah, Michael's got the last sector. Otherwise, Dean would have done his lap in that race could have been a 135 if he'd been faster on the first sector.
I think Dean's ideal was 135.3.
Yeah,
going on his, you know, the sector time. So yeah, it's set up nicely.
Looking at the Superstock TT lap record, is 17 minutes flat, 0.510. Are we going to see a Superstock bike today go under the 17-minute?
I think it'd be a big ask, but it's certainly not beyond the bounds of possibility. We've got, again, Michael and Dean will be going at it. Dean will obviously be trying to make up for the disappointment of Saturday's retirement, and Michael fired in a 131.8 maybe on Saturday evening on this qualifying lap. Dean's not far behind either. It's, you know, I mean, the weather's fantastic again today. There's lots of rubber down in the track, so it's it's going to be fast and furious. And after what happened on Saturday, I suppose we wouldn't be surprised if it does happen.
131.15 for Michael Harrison, 131.0, Hickman 130.82, Russell 129.7, Connor 128.5, Davo Johnson 129.2. So they're all pretty close between themselves. Just thinking back then to Saturday, other standout performances from you guys? Anybody else on the RST Superbike race, Dan, that made you jump? Oh, there's some good laps in there, because I think over 20 people did all their PBs on Saturday. Like Phil Crow and people like that all went fast themselves, and he's impressing. Sam West, another one, done well. Yeah, he was really great at the Northwest too. Yeah, so anybody else stand out for you?
Well, just speaking as a Manxman, I was just really pleased to see Connor pushing his. I mean, he said it at the press launch, didn't he? He said, "Oh, people write me off, but don't write me off." You know, I still want it as much as I've ever wanted it, and I think he showed that. You know, I think he had a bit of a slow start to the race, but once he got going, he
He
really
never
knocking
starts
him.
fast, does he? He
Well,
never starts
he
fast.
used to, didn't he?
Yeah,
Remember,
yes,
remember that what you were talking about earlier with the
McAdoo bike.
yeah, exactly, and burnt the clutch out, and maybe he's learned a lesson from that.
Maybe, because you said about John McGuinness there before, weren't you? You know, Dean Harrison did a John McGuinness in the Superbike race.
Exactly. That's what we
just binned it, didn't he, from the go? So Davey Todd as well, obviously riding for the Cookstown team, Northern Irish
just
link
incredible.
there.
Yeah, that's right.
Newcomer.
I mean, John and the whole team were just absolutely ecstatic with that performance by Davey. 126, I think, from a standing start on the Burrows Engineering Race in Suzuki. Really incredible. You know, I've been talking to John and the boys over the past week, and you know, Davey went about the job in the right way. He put a lot of homework in. I think he's done something like 128 laps in the car before he came here. You know, John has proven in the past that he's got an eye for sort of new talent coming through, and it certainly looks to be the case with Davey. You know, he's really impressed on the Irish roads, and he's carried that through now to the big stage here at the TT. So, third fastest newcomer of all time now. So let's see what Davey can do throughout the rest of the week. I think he's done 121 on the 600, so he'll be out on the Burrows Honda today. So yeah,
he's good, isn't he? He does a lot of supermoto. He is his background, isn't it? Yeah, so he's a very, very good supermoto rider. He started off on the roads. I think it was maybe Armoy, one of his first races last year. I think he did the Skerries as well.
Skerries last year.
He definitely did Armoy. So
yeah, he was at Armoy.
Yeah, because I was there. Yeah, he did. Yeah, but he wasn't riding for John then. He was riding for another team. I can't remember the name of the team, but yeah, he's a very good rider. He showed then, and he also showed at the Ulster Grand Prix what he was capable of with some of the pace he was running. I think he was started off in the second group, I think, anyway.
Yeah. Just
on 8:13 and a half here on Manx Radio TT. We are on the chat show this morning, joined by the journalist and Jason. Who's JC DeHaven? Who's that then?
I don't know, but I'll take it. It's
Maybe
fine.
it's your twin sister
I'll be
you
JC
didn't know
DeHaven
about.
from now on.
Anyway, so how do people get in touch with us? And have we had anything in so far this morning?
Yeah, we've had a few people. There's people listening all over the world already. Thanks very much for all your messages on Facebook. Jason is listening in Ireland. I hope we're all enjoying the racing and the weather, and so is Michael. He's in Ireland as well, the home of the world's fastest road race. Thanks for reminding us about that one. Callum says good morning from a misty Inverness. We've got Kyle listening in New Zealand, and hi from the Stan wedding party from the Isle of Man, who are out in Spain listening to the show. So people all over the world, and you can watch us streaming live on Facebook and comment on there. You can also send a text message to us 166 177. Start your message with TT so that we know that that's what you're contacting us about, or you can email studio@Radio TT, and we are of course on social media at Manx Radio TT. Just a quick reminder as well that of course the roads are due to close Brule Park, Ramsey to Bungalow 9:15, then from 9:30 Bungalow to the Cregna Bar will be closed, and then from 10 a.m. the entire course is closed.
Yep, and I think we're on air. What time this morning is it, producer Alex?
9:45.
9:45. There you go. Thank you very much. I thought I'd catch him out there. Just